Welcome to London, a vibrant city full of iconic sightseeing spots. It has so much to offer: rich history, lively culture, incredible shopping, vibrant nightlife, you name it. If you are planning a trip to London, then look no further, because this travel guide will show you everything you need to know, from sightseeing to restaurants. I will show you how to make the best of your time in London, one of the oldest and greatest cities of almost 10 million people. My name is Kristi and I shoot travel videos everywhere I go. So let's get into it. When visiting London, the chances are you will be landing into one of these 6 major airports. The cheapest way to get to the center of London is by the train and the tube. You can take taxi from all the 6 airports, but it is a way more expensive option for sure. Now, choosing where to stay can be quite overwhelming, so let me help you. Generally, I recommend staying in West End. This area is busy and vibrant all the time. It is close to all the main sites and it has many theaters and shopping and restaurants options. London is an expensive destination, so you need to be smart about where you spend your money, if you're not exactly Elon Musk. For budget travel, I recommend checking out some accommodation options outside of the city center. By the way, speaking of Elon Musk, more than 80 billionaires live in London, making it the city with the highest number of billionaires in the world. Now let's get into some of the best places to explore around London. Where else to begin our journey than in Westminster, home to the Houses of Parliament and world-famous Big Ben. It is a World Heritage Site and one of the most recognized buildings in the world. Part of the Houses of Parliament is Big Ben, probably the most famous clock in the world. Not many people know this, but the Big Ben is actually called the Elizabeth Tower, and Big Ben is only the bell that is inside. Right across the river is the London Eye, which used to be the highest observation wheel in the world. Built in 1999, standing 135 meters high. It gives one a panoramic view of London up to 25 kilometers in all directions. Single rotation lasts about 30 minutes and it is usually extremely touristy busy. In close walking distance from the House of Parliament we have the Westminster Abbey. I highly recommend going inside. It is for £25, but it's so worth it, I swear. The church is so beautiful, you can really feel the history there. All the coronations took place there, as well as the royal weddings. You can see the actual coronation chair, as well as the places where all the royals stood or sit while the wedding ceremony is. It's quite exciting. If you walk a little bit more, you will get to the Downing Street where the Prime Minister lives. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Downing Street. And it should be the Black House over there. It's funny because always when I think about the Downing Street, I think of Hugh Grant and Love Actually, never of Boris. From the Downing Street you get easily to the Trafalgar Square, super vibrant and busy, surrounded by museums, galleries and historic buildings. The Nelson's column in the middle of the square was designed to honor Admiral Nelson after his victory in the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. From Trafalgar Square you can easily walk to the Piccadilly Circus, the famous busy London intersection with iconic advertising screens and with the statue of Eros, which became a popular meeting place. And now you are getting probably a little hungry, and a visit to London is not complete without trying their national dish, fish and chips. And I got the spot. We found on Google a little restaurant called Mayfair tippig, and the food looks delicious. There's actually a huge line, we are just waiting for a table, but it looks amazing. So what kind of tourist we would be if we didn't have fish and chips our first day. Now let's have a look at tipping. If you are in a restaurant in London and the bill comes with a service charge, no need to tip on top of that. If it doesn't, 10% tip is just fine if the service was okay. Right next to the fish and chips restaurant, we discovered by accident one of the coolest places, Mercato Mayfair. This is an amazing food market, literally inside a church. This place has some delicious international cuisine to offer, as well as wine cell and a beautiful terrace in the church rooftop. Moving on, hitting the Oxford Street is a must for all the shopping lovers. It is Europe's busiest shopping street. Now what about transportation? Getting around London is incredibly easy thanks to its well-maintained and extensive underground called the Tube. You can use Oyster card or just your regular credit or debit card with the contactless payment feature, or Apple Pay or Google Pay. The Tube is usually the fastest option, but my favorite one is taking a double-decker bus. Highly recommend grabbing a seat at the top of the bus at the front. You will enjoy the ride and you might see some major London landmarks. Another option is to use the Uber boat and enjoy a nice river tour. Interesting fact is that these iconic London buses were not always red. Once upon a time, they had different colors based on different companies running them. To stand out the competition, London General Omnibus Company decided to paint their buses with red color in 1907. Ever since, London buses have been red, with other companies following them. And watch out, they drive on the left, the opposite of most countries around the world. Make sure when you're crossing the road, always look right. We almost got hit by a car like 100 times because we are used to looking left. See, now I'm doing it again. Right, left. Now let's continue sightseeing, and the next must-see spot is definitely the Tower Bridge that opens on average 800 times a year to let tall boats pass through. Did you know that you can go inside? I'm usually not into full tourist mode stuff, but going inside the Tower Bridge was actually the highlight of our sightseeing. The entrance fee is £11.40 and you will get to see stunning panoramic views, and the top experience is to see the London life through the glass floor that you can actually walk on. Such a cool experience. The Tower of London is definitely next on the list, and it's in walking distance from the Tower Bridge. It is definitely one of the most famous fortresses, and it used to serve as a royal palace, prison, armory, and even a zoo. It used to be a famous spot for executions, and Anne Boleyn was one of the executed here. You can go inside, but we are not going to do that today. From the Tower of London you can easily spot the Shard, the tallest building in London and also in the European Union with its 310 meters. After that you can continue to the Borough Market. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest places to go, especially if you love to eat, and let's face it, who doesn't? You can find here organic and tasty food from all over the world. The place has amazing vibe and it is a great place to hang out. We went for some delicious burgers and donuts. And OMG, these donuts were really something. Another cool place to explore is Chinatown if you want to experience the real taste of East Asia. To get back into the British culture, visiting a typical British pub for a pint or two is a must. They look very cute and the beer is just delicious. Saving the best for last, let's take a look at the Buckingham Palace, home to the Queen. You can take a tour inside to see the magnificent rooms in the palace during summer months when the Queen is not in the residence. This has been on my list forever, but I have not managed to do that yet. Make sure to buy tickets months before your London vacay to make sure you'll get in. If you are into attractions or you are traveling with kids, I highly recommend checking out the London Dungeon. That takes you throughout the history of London in a very interactive way with live actors. You go from room to room, feeling, touching, smelling, hearing and experiencing the whole London's past in a very fun way. We also did the Warner Bros. Harry Potter Studios tour. This was so much fun. You will get to see the real sets, props, costumes, movie effects, and so much more. It is super hard to get in. Book your tickets months in advance, otherwise you will not get in, but it is so worth it. This is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you are traveling to London, have a great trip, and there are more travels coming up, so if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button not to miss out. Thank you, have a great day, and see you in the next video.